You guys, we're back. Sean and Javon, all 52 podcasts. A lot's been moving. March Madness second week starts tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow. We have some NBA news, the NBA PA, but we got definitely some college basketball news to start off. Javon, what's good, man?
Not much. It's fake spring is over up here, so it's back to being cold for a couple weeks, and then hopefully some warm weather again after that.
Man, April. They always say April 22nd's springtime, but I think it's April 22nd. Is this April or it's March?
It's never the same day, Sean.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's all messed up.
It's never the same day, but I don't know. Yeah, you say March 22nd. That's my dad's birthday. I don't know. I guess St. Patrick's Day is supposed to kick off the spring season, and I don't give a damn about St. Patrick's Day because number one, I don't know no Irish people that give a damn about me. And number two, I hate beer. So yeah, like I don't. They be having a parade up here apparently, in my office. Like not my job like participates in it or whatever. And they had some big float, and they tried to get me out there for it. I said, hell no. y'all can hold that float in the cold weather and go drink nasty green beer. I'm cool.
Man, you should never go to Boston during that weekend, though. Then
yeah, I'm fine.
South Boston is. I think Jaylen Brown was on the float this year in Southie. South Boston is crazy. Even at 7 a.m., the bars are open.
Yeah, I let the Irish have St. Patrick's Day, and I let our Mexican brothers and sisters have Cinco de Mayo. Just
Cinco de Mayo.
I let everybody have their own thing because I know I'm gonna be pissed when people try to jump in on Juneteenth. Like y'all have y'all thing, let us have ours. Everybody be their own selves, be with their own people, have their own thing. We'll be fine.
My man doesn't want any integration.
I ain't saying all that, but as the years go by, Dr. King is losing a lot of supporters. You ever noticed that? It's a lot of black folks who just are on social media these days, like, man, integration ain't all it was hyped up to be. I don't know if I'm really rocking with what Dr. King did for us. It's like, I hear y'all.
Yeah, we might have to do a deep dive on that one. That's a long conversation.
It's a long convo. And it's like
long convo.
You see both sides of the argument and you just stay out of
it. Yeah, it's one of those things you probably just should stay out of that one.
Yeah. You just
that's a tough conversation.
Yeah, I'll let y'all have that argument for yourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get into it. Hubert Davis was fired by North Carolina after 5 seasons. Took the UNC to the national championship game in their first season. Beat Duke, knocked off Krzyzewski. Those are his signature moments. But I don't know about anyone else, but UNC has fallen from the grace of the elites. Javon, what's your thoughts about this?
Yeah, so okay, he won in Coach K's last home game at Duke, and then he sent them home in the Final Four to end his career. And went to the national championship game, lost to Kansas, and that's been his claim to fame. But you got to do something besides that at some point. And Hubert has not done that. Why is Carolina ever in the first 4 and always a lower seed? And the thing with Hubert, though, is there's an issue that goes beyond him, and that is the philosophy at Carolina. Caleb Wilson is the first one done at Carolina since when? What, Harrison Barnes?
Oh, Harrison Barnes. Was Harrison Barnes? No, he was a sophomore when he came out. He went back to school. I'm gonna have to look it up while you talk. Yeah, I think it's Marvin Williams. But let me look that up.
Man, that's like they changed philosophy. All the guys go to Duke and Cal Park. It doesn't matter who Carolina's next guy is. The recruiting philosophy has to change. It cannot be a team full of 4-year guys. There's a way to do what John Shire does at Duke, where you blend them. And before him, Krzyzewski was doing it. The issue with Calipari at Kentucky was that he was not doing it. Now, I actually like his Arkansas team because he is doing it. The philosophy has to change, regardless of who you bring in. Was it the right time to do it? Absolutely. This is going to give Jeff Goodman more fuel to his fire. Stop hiring these black former NBA players to be head coaches in college basketball. Lord have mercy. But it was needed. It was needed. Carolina had fallen a little too far. I had them losing the Virginia Commonwealth, by the way. So no shocker. Oh, Sean, remember last year I had 13 in the Sweet 16?
Yes.
I got 14 this year. So we in good shape. We in good shape.
You put any money? You put any money on this?
Kept losing by one. I kept losing by one. Parlays over the weekend kept losing by one. Then my upset parlay to where I'm like sending on FanDuel, you could bet your bracket, whereas you could bet on certain teams to reach certain rounds and certain teams not to reach certain rounds. I lost one this weekend, Sean, literally by 1 point.
Oh, I'll be sick.
Miami, Ohio, plus 21.5 against Tennessee.
Miami, Ohio, plus. Oh, that's tough.
Lost by 1 point.
Damn,
I was not okay. I was not okay. So yeah, I think it was time. I think you call up Kamani Young and Luke Murray at Connecticut. Word on the street is Billy Donovan might leave the Bulls after this season. I think that's another phone call. And just get it rolling again. Go after the 5 stars. Go after the one and dones. Simple and plain.
So Harrison Barnes did stay 2 years in Duke, but he was a highly recruited freshman, high school recruit. So I understand, but he's still not at Duke, at North Carolina. He stayed 2 years in North Carolina. So yeah, I've been called. I feel like when a place loses its luster, like this place, LSU, there's certain places that should not. Everything is given in life that every year you deserve to be in the national championship game, but you should be in the conversation, and UNC should always be in the conversation. And the last couple of years, the gap between them and Duke is substantial. It's gotten bigger since Roy Williams has left. But even when Roy was there the last couple of years, Duke was getting all the one and dones, and Duke was the marquee name, and I think Duke's the biggest brand in college basketball, and it's surpassed North Carolina by leaps and bounds. I'll think of UConn. I'll think of Florida. I'll think a bunch of other schools, Kentucky, before I think of UNC anymore. Like even UCLA had more like some relevance before, but I just don't. I think that type of school needs to be in the conversation. Kansas has leaped them. They have fallen to the back of like the quote unquote blue bloods, and you need a guy, and he's a good Christian man. They say he's a legend in UNC. That's all cool, and God bless him. If he wants to go back to TV, he'll go back to TV. Whatever he wants to do, he's good in North Carolina. But they just lost their luster. They lost that it didn't mean anything about UNC like that anymore. And it's not to be disrespectful, but they lost it. I remember at one point Notre Dame lost it. They're starting to get it back. Just certain brands just need to be in a different conversation, and they haven't had that. So I think I was reading last night, and I'm trying to pull it up right now. They need to go big name hunting. Like, I don't care. You go, Billy. I know you said, if we were texting last night, that Golden has no reason to lose Florida, but I'm making the phone call anyways. Iowa State head coach, I'm making a phone call. Any guy, everybody's open. Dusty May, anyone, and I'm calling Mike on the phone. Mike, what's the budget? And I don't think it'll be a budget. I would tell him we shouldn't have a budget for this. We need to go and we need to win. I like Billy Donovan because I think Billy has had an okay NBA career. I just don't think he's.
Billy Donovan is a basketball coach, and the NBA. Certainly, a lot of teams that don't want that anymore. A lot of players who don't want to be coached. And the Bulls are such a terrible organization. Save yourself and get away from it, please.
Yeah, and like I wouldn't want to be working with that president of basketball operations. I think he's done a horrible job in Chicago. Yeah, I just think Billy should be the top candidate. He's only 60. He's not like he's 70. Like Billy still
get 10 years out of Billy Donovan.
Yeah, and reestablish the culture. He would be my number one. Go ahead.
Clark Lee at Vanderbilt. I throw into that conversation.
I did
By
see
the way,
something. Go ahead.
shout out to Vanderbilt's AD, black woman, by the way. What they've been able to turn that athletic department into. We got to, we're about showing respect and giving flowers on this program.
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. What Mark Byington, what Clark Lee, I said Clark Lee, Mark Byington, my goodness. What Clark Lee's done for the football program, what Mark Byington's done for the basketball program. We already know the only reason Vanderbilt was in the SEC was academics and baseball, so we don't even have to touch on that. So shout out to them over there. And the dude down there at Texas who got hired in 2019, he's done a great job down there too. Vic Schaefer's been great for the women's ball team. Oh, and Vanderbilt's women's ball team was great this year too. They a 2 seed in the tournament, I think. Shout out Texas AD too. Sarkeesian's working out so far. Vic Schaefer, Sean Miller's got them in the Sweet 16. So I did want to highlight those two athletic departments. But yeah, Mark Byington at Vanderbilt would be in my conversation too, because you can go from Tennessee to Carolina easily in terms of recruiting.
Oh yeah, you'll be able to do it. The only thing I would say is this, right? I did hear this last night, and he would be the top guy, but I'm not leaving Boston. Brad Stevens. If you could convince Brad Stevens, and maybe that's the only job he would actually consider to go back, leave the Celtics. But with Tatum and Brown, they have another runway for another 5 to 7 years. I'm not leaving, and I think he's one. I think he's top 5 as an executive in the NBA. I'm not leaving Boston to go to UNC, but him and Billy will be my first 2 guys. But then Iowa State will probably be my what's his name to Iowa State?
TJ Otzelberger.
Yeah, he'll be my 3rd guy. I like his energy. I like his swag, but it cannot be anyone in the Carolina family. I'm gonna be disgusted. No Charmaine, no Jerry Stackhouse. I'm done with that.
Yeah, Stackhouse, I saw him at Vanderbilt. No, it'll be more the same issues, but he'll recruit though. I will give him that because he started this for Mark Byington to turn things around at Vanderbilt with the level of players he was bringing in, like a Scottie Pippen Jr. I don't want TJ to leave Iowa. Stay home. That's your alma mater. Dusty May, you just got to Michigan. You can stay. Tommy Lloyd, Arizona is a brand in college basketball.
Yeah, I'm not leaving.
Them. There's no need for you to leave.
No.
Like I said, Todd Golden, you've built Florida up to get back to where it was under Billy Donovan and surpassed Carolina. And those have been equal programs this millennium. There's no need for you to leave. By the way, Sean, I don't know if I had this conversation with you or not. I remember having to one of my homeboys, dog. I said back in November, I said, Florida's season is going to end. And it's going to have something to do with Xavier Lee. I said, when Florida's season ends, it's going to be because of Xavier Lee. And what happened this weekend? Passes out of a layup with no time on the clock.
Didn't even get a shot up.
I hate when I'm right like that. Like, buddy, it's March 25th right now. When I said that, it probably was November 25th, to be honest with you. Come on, man. That's 4 or 5 months. Yeah, I can't stand being right like that accurate on stuff. No, that's come on, man. Them lights got too bright, and that brother pissed down his leg. And we knew it was coming. First month of the season, we knew it was coming. When Florida got off that slow start and just could not show up against the good teams.
I do think it was well deserved the way it fit and how they lost. They were very inconsistent this year. At some points, they played better at the second half. So sometimes I think you get what you deserve. I really believe in that. In life,
but Xavier Lee, just the lights were too bright for him. Him and Jeremy Lin. Hey, you can get 1 season, I guess, and then go right back to normalcy. Boogie Flan, no. And then they just didn't have enough spacing. They had 2 power forwards in the center in the starting lineup. That was the Western Conference All-Star team in the early 2000s. Remember, it'd be Kevin Garnett starting at the small forward every year. Yeah. So,
Duncan, yeah, and then the center. Yeah, I do think they need to figure it out. But again, Carolina's Carolina. But I agree. The guys you name, I built Florida. I can win in Florida. I think Golden's next step is the NBA if that's what he wants to do. He's only 40 years old. So at some point, his challenge might be, if it's not college, because there's only a few jobs, Kentucky, Duke, one of those jobs, UNC is maybe in that conversation, is like, oh, I might want to leave Florida for that one. But I think his next step is the NBA if he wants to do that. But he's super young, so we'll see what happens over that time. But yeah, I just think you go Donovan, you Stevens, and then you kind of go down the list. But I think someone's going to take this job. I know it's not the same landscape as college, like they're not in the same category, but it's such a really good job. I did like what you say about, I would take Luke Murray because I think he was been the engine behind the offensive way they play offense at UConn for so many years. I think he'll be able to recruit. We need North Carolina to be back into that Kentucky, Duke conversation, UConn conversation, Kansas conversation. College basketball is better when North Carolina's back in that conversation.
Yeah, no first round, no top 5 picks since 05 or something like that.
Yeah, Marvin Williams was the last one. That's not good enough. When I heard that stat, I was like, that doesn't make sense.
I mean, we've been talking about that on this podcast for years now. So Caleb Wilson probably breaks that streak, but
yeah, he does.
You got to keep going. Sean Kate Cunningham has a collapsed lung. Didn't stop the Pistons from taking care of business last night. Donis Jenkins is, to me, he's looking like Andrew Nembhard when I say those are 2 backup point guards who need their own teams. So Cade's out indefinitely. Kind of impacts the 65-game rule, and we'll also get into that later on. Your thoughts on Detroit without Cade Cunningham?
The East is so weak that it doesn't really matter. And Boston has kind of hit like a little rocky patch over the last. They haven't been as good as I thought when Tatum was going to be, and that's probably expected. I still think they could finish with the number 1 seed. The East is so weak, even though I think you said it a couple weeks ago in our group chat. If they face Charlotte in the first round, that might be a matchup. That might be probably the teams in the play-in tournament right now in the East. The matchup they kind of want to avoid, even though Atlanta's playing better, even though their schedule was really cupcake. But I do like how athletic and young and unpredictable Atlanta is now. Prior, when the Trae Young days was just, we knew what kind of offense and type of team they were going to be. But no, I'm not worried about Detroit. I think they still will most likely win the first round. And it's about getting healthy because then that 4 or 5 matchup will be Cleveland, and I can't remember who's the fifth seed. But I'm not worried about Detroit if they can just survive. Trey Water, don't bring him back for the regular season. Again, I know it's going to affect his 65-game rule, and again, we'll talk about that later. I'm not really worried about Detroit. I think they'll survive enough, but they're not going to beat a Charlotte in the first round, so they need him before the playoffs.
Yeah, they got a 5-game lead on the Celtics, who, like you said, they're figuring things out, getting Tatum back into the mix. Not everyone's going to be Chicago when Jordan comes back and just, fits in seamlessly again. But even then, they had to get used to personality stuff all over again because Scotty had kind of been on the lighter side. By the way, Sean, go ahead. Talk about Scotty. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Scotty, I saw his latest commercial or whatever that was. Him and Isaiah Thomas have fallen down my positional top point guards of all times, top small forwards all time, just because of this blatant hate, the blatant lameness they've had displayed after so much respect. You have so much respect you garner in your career, and you could lose it. And it's not just like a one thing they've done. They gradually over this time period have shown me they're haters. They show me they don't really know the game of basketball, or they're just being spiteful. Because when you say stuff like this about Michael, and the guy they attacking is like, I'm a Kobe guy. So I'm not just defending Michael because I love Michael. Michael's great. I'm a Kobe guy though. Mike, come on, man, Scotty. Like
Scotty, you didn't say none of this when you were playing with Mike.
You wasn't playing. You benefited from playing for Mike. The fame, the championships. Come on, Scotty.
And like, come on. Can we not forget? Like, number one, the first year where you were an MVP candidate, sure, you still lost in the conference semifinals. So you didn't even get to the conference final. In the second year, have people forgotten? The Bulls were pretty much a 500 team the second year without Mike. Yes. They were begging for Mike to come back for that reason. So, Scotty, stop.
What do you do in Houston?
What you do in Houston?
What do you do in Portland? Come on. Like, let's be real. And like, it's the blatant. If I'm his kids, I have a kid who's in the NBA. I'm embarrassed. Like, pops, just chill out. Like, relax. Like, he just keeps egging this stuff on. I don't always like because his ex was messing with Mike's son. I don't know, but he has this like it's disgusting to me because it's like, Scotty, yo, listen, we all think you're a great player, but no one, Jerron, had ever said Michael was better. Scotty was just as good as Michael. No, because at the end of the day, if you were, you didn't have the mentality because you were the MVP or you had an MVP candidate, but you conceded when Michael came back. If you were really that guy, I'd be like, yo, I'm 1A, you 1B or 1. No, you conceded the second spot. Kobe never conceded. He wanted to be number one. Then you could have, you know what I'm saying? So like, and then when you went to Houston, when you went to Portland, you wasn't number one. So I don't get, yo, he's the greatest sidekick in NBA history. It's okay. He's one of the best two-way players of all time. But the blatant hate trying to destroy what you built with Michael and those guys, I don't respect it. And Isaiah, I lost a lot of respect for Isaiah a long time ago.
And for the LeBron fans, like my older brother, who loved to, we had this conversation a couple weeks ago, right? Where I'm like, LeBron fans will talk up all the Jordan and Kobe's teammates like they were the best players of all time, and then talk down their guys who actually are in that, who actually are real something. For LeBron, they love. Oh man, he needed Scotty this, Scotty that, Scotty could do this, Scotty could do that. Scotty was so great. Sean, who was the closer for those Bulls teams when Mike left?
Kukoc.
Yeah, they brought Tony over from Croatia. And the fourth quarter belonged to Kukoc.
Yeah,
not Scotty. As a matter of fact, I remember Scottie Pippen sitting on the bench because he was throwing a hissy fit that Phil Jackson drew up a last shot for Tony Kukoc and not him.
I remember that against, and he just sat and it's just.
So, come on.
Like, and you listen, if you want to get back at Mike and you've done your own documentary, I wouldn't have been mad about that. But the blatant, like a book tour, every time you get a chance, you want on our podcast, Patrick Bet David's podcast, just you going on this media run about Mike. And I don't ever hear Mike talk about you. I haven't wanted to hear Mike address
Mike ain't worried about nothing but winning his NASCAR these days.
Yeah, man. He's happy. Let that man be happy. Yo, you guys built a great legacy. I know I'm starting to realize maybe what happened with Brown and Tatum. Maybe it's not good to have two really good players on the same team because it always Shaq and Kobe. I know Shaq wants to play it up, but they didn't really mess with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like God rest Kobe's soul, but they didn't really mess with each other. It might be hard when you're both really that good. And Scottie was good, but I got to be honest. It wasn't a Shaq and Kobe thing. Mike was clearly better than Scottie. I got to be real. I don't think it was close. I think Kobe proved, too, he could win without Shaq. And Shaq won without Kobe. Like, I don't know. I lost a lot of respect for those guys. And the main reason I lost respect when Isaiah and Scottie both played against Mike. And Scottie with Mike. Yo, are you saying LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan?
Well, no, my thing was how Isaiah switched up his tune because Isaiah went from playing against him being a real rival to work for NBC and would not stop singing Michael's praises.
Yes,
now you're trying to get in his good graces and greatest of all time, the greatest of all time, and it kept going. It kept going until this social media era really just started booming. And like, come on, man, come on.
No, it's disrespectful. And because again,
as soon as he got the NBA TV is when this started. Actually,
yeah, like just straight hating him. Like this is not just a Last Dance thing. This is pre-Last Dance. He's just straight hate. I don't respect that. And I thought there was an argument before.
It started off with him going at Scottie.
Yes,
on open court. Him, Shaq, and Reggie Miller. We're talking about how the 96 team would beat the 92 team. And, Shaq's a character and Reggie's a character. So they're going to gas up Isaiah or whatever. No, they would gas him up because he was like, Michael Jordan, greatest player of all time, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, right after him. If they say they don't want me on the dream team, that's fine. But Scottie Pippen, man, go to the park. I will never forget that episode ever. Because Ernie had cleared off like this long couch they used to have on the set. And would let them lay down like they were at therapy. So that was Isaiah's complaint. Shaq's complaint was, I remember I was dominant. I'm averaging 28 and 15 without the free throws. And then there's this good-looking little David Beckham guy averaging like 15 and 10, stealing my MVPs from me. And then Grant Hill was like, I see why we never won in Phoenix. Shaq was mad at the point guard. But like, yeah, man, it's been going on since then. And then the Dream Team documentary and all that. But yeah, man, it's got to stop. And Scottie, yeah, man, just.
I got to say this.
I'm just not a fan of biting the hand that feeds you, man.
Yeah. And I got to be real. I'm going to say this last point. I don't want to get 41. I don't want to get into my 50s, late early 60s, mid 60s, acting like
be that petty.
Scottie, Isaiah, even Stephen A. Smith and Jason Whitlock. I've seen those stuff the last couple of days, and it's disgusting. The strip club analogy was dope. I can't lie. But do I want to act like that? I'm not saying I can't. I won't. If someone pisses me off to that level, I might be petty. So remember I said that. But I can't lie. The way those four men are acting are crazy to me.
That was fun. And Stephen A. was right to say what he said to Cam Newton. Like, hey, listen, don't let nobody come on the podcast and just spew a bunch of nonsense and then just no pushback. Like, you're going to be in this space. You got some type of journalistic responsibility to ask how. Where's your proof? How do you know this? Back up what you're saying.
I watched the interview, the whole interview. It was a good interview, actually, by the way. Cam, when that came, he was, you work with this man. And I would have a problem with that. Like, you work with me and we're supposed to be boys and stuff like that. He could have had way more pushback, but he just let Jason Whitlock disrespect that man on his platform. That's Jason Whitlock has his own platform with I think like 500,000 subscribers.
And Cam's like, you can't really get mad at me for letting someone tell their truth on my platform because it's their truth. No, man, no. There's no such thing as his truth, her truth. It's the truth.
The truth, exactly. 100%. And especially if you're my friend, like you can, I get money with. I put you on my show. If I was Stephen A, I put you on my show. Yeah, I put you on my show. Like, it's gonna boost your show. It's gonna boost you. And you let this man. I watched it blatantly disrespect me with no pushback. You could have been like, nah, he's not like that. Come on, man. He didn't say any of that, Javon. It was crazy. I'm like, I would look at him sideways, be like, yo, nah.
It gives off Wendy Williams vibes. That what Cam
kind of. And I saw his social media team yesterday put it on 4th and 1. Jason Whitlock thing, him, Stephen A. going back and forth, and I'm like, maybe Stephen A. is going to go on the show or something, but it looked kind of messy. It looks messy. That's the word. It looks messy.
Yeah. I can't watch but so much of 4th and 1 because when Cam get to trying to sound smarter than he is, and it's a little too much. But anyways, look, the Pistons, Jalen Duren is showing that he's ready to step up for Detroit, and that win against the Lakers was big for them. I think they hold on to this 5-game lead, especially like you said, with Boston still trying to figure things out, getting reacclimated to Tatum. But the Knicks are hot, but I don't know if they pass Detroit. So I think we can see Detroit go into the playoffs with number 1 seed, but they're going to need Cade Cunningham for that first round because Miami's a tough out, and you don't want to see Charlotte. And Orlando can be a tough out. Now, Orlando's on a 6-game losing streak. We already know how we feel about them on this podcast. Jamal Mosley needs to be gone. But since I'm bringing up the first round and the play-in, I want to talk about the 5-game losing streak Miami Heat. Because, again, sometimes I hate being right, but, man, do I love it. Sean, who came on this podcast right after that 83-point game and pointed out how tough Miami's schedule was coming up?
You said it. You called it out.
It said the priorities were so wrong in Miami. Where you're more worried about when you're up 25, stat padding against the garbage Washington Wizards. I said, all right, this tough schedule coming up. Y'all better win some games. And knowing
You did call that.
Miami, I bet you they lose them and go right back down into the play-in. And where are they at? The 10th seed, 38-34 on a 5-game losing streak. Once again, I don't want to hear anything else about Heat culture. It's nothing. Y'all are not that organization anymore. Just Pat, come on back to the Lakers. That's all I got to say. We were right about a bad, disgusting performance against the Wizards, then winning the actual games that mean something against good teams in the heat of the playoff race. That's what they talk about it, though, Miami. I thought when it happened. I said this is about to happen. And now, look. Yes. Yeah. I love Philly. I had all that stuff to say about D Wade and him. I'm talking about the standard and all that. Now look, man. Now look. Look at him had 60 on you since then. Yeah, what's going on? What's really going on, man?
Yo, you deserve that platform and that rant because you called it. I got to give you tip my cap because you did call that. And I'm looking at the standings. So that's why I keep looking at my phone right now because I'm looking at the standings right now. The 7-8 matchup. Philly. I would pick Philly if they're healthy. I can't lie. And then
you on this Philly if they're healthy stuff. Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah. I'm lost, but don't. It's whatever. In Charlotte and Miami, I'm taking Charlotte. I think Miami don't even make the playoffs. Again. So, and you reap what you deserve because again, you reap what you sow. You cannot play the game. You can't.
You cannot cheat the game.
You can't cheat the game like that. Remember that year when we talked about the Clippers and I said they're not going to win a title because you can't disrespect the game like that. It's going to come back. Karma comes back to you. Look, Miami disrespected the legacy of Kobe Bryant, disrespected NBA basketball. You can't win a game like that. They were hot. Now they're on a 5-game losing streak or 4-game, 5, whatever. They're not going to, they're going to lose. I'm looking at the play-in right now. I'm looking at, they're not beating these teams. That's bad. That's bad. I'm taking all 3 of those teams over Miami in a play-in matchup.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Sean, Giannis is angry again. Got some other lower body injury. And the Bucks want to shut him down for the season, which he is angry about and trying to fight. And the NBPA is on his side trying to fight with him. And then you have the owners come out and tell Ramona Shelburne he either signs a contract extension or gets traded this summer. When is the Giannis stuff going to stop, man?
I said a few weeks ago, I'm sick of talking about it. I said it on this podcast. I think I texted it in our group chat. I am sick of Giannis and the drama. And I'm thinking about this. I have to give Zach Lowe and Bill Simmons credit. I saw a clip and they were like, would you trade? Milwaukee's has held on for Giannis for so long that his value is not
diminished.
The same. Yeah, it's diminished. I'm not paying all those leg injuries, all these injuries. Why am I going to give up all these 4 or 5 first-round picks? Why am I doing that?
And you're a rental next season.
Yes.
You're a rental.
You're a rental.
And you're damaged goods. You're used Xbox controller at GameStop, man.
You know what's crazy? Milwaukee's a horrible organization. I think about it. You put the power in his hand now because he's gonna dictate where he goes because he only has 1 year on his contract.
And you're not going to get anything in return for.
No, Giannis will be a Laker next year.
Yeah, I say Lakers want to go ahead and
get
their second superstar. Here you go. If the Knicks want to go ahead and here you go. The Heat, here you go.
Yep. All the teams that didn't have the asset pool to get him, they're back in the conversation because he's going to dictate. I'm not going to be surprised when he says I'm going to re-sign with the Lakers or Miami. I'm not going to be surprised he says that, or the Knicks. They at the trade deadline they had all these possibilities, but they just kept. First of all, again, I got to tip my cap to your owner of the Baltimore Ravens, Steve Bisciotti. I cannot let my players run the organization. It's my organization. I'm the one who's funding this stuff. And it's not a white-black thing. It's not a master. No, if I buy something, I have the right to. If I buy a house, it's my house.
It's mine.
It's mine. I put the money. I put the D down. You know what I'm saying? I wrote my name on it. So if I'm the owners of the Bucks, why are we letting Giannis dictate my organization? I pay billions of dollars for. I don't give it. You could go. My organization is going to still be here for the next 30 years when you retire. they have messed this up so bad because they let this guy, and it's just the drama. Now you get the NBA PA involved and saying they're tanking. If you love the Milwaukee Bucks, you will look in Milwaukee in the face, be like, the best thing for me is for you guys to tank so you could get a high pick. I'm not going to be here next year. But you want to play and possibly hurt your trade, your hurt yourself and then hurt the Bucks in the trade. It's just a selfish move, and then you want to get the NBPA involved. I just don't like that.
Why do you want to play? Because you can't qualify for any awards. You're losing, and you can't stay healthy. You should want to sit.
Sit down. You're 31. You'll be like, all right, I can start getting revved up for next season. Like, what is this? I just
Sean, we're saying all this with this offseason stuff, right? And him in a different jersey. I bet you he signed that extension. And then going back to your sermon of Mike Trout and Deshaun Watson, how you got on them for signing their extensions before they got it. I would not be shocked if that happens at all.
Absolutely. I would not be surprised.
He finally asked for a trade, signs the extension, and then 1-2 years into it, let me get out of here.
Get the guarantee bag. It makes sense. And first of all, and this is another part. I blame Milwaukee just as much as Giannis. Why are you even offering him an extension? You know, if you come on, man, we don't own basketball teams. We don't work in the NBA, but we're smart. We know you're not winning anything with Giannis anymore in Milwaukee. Reset the organization. Be like, yo, Giannis, it's over. We're gonna trade you. That's it. Take responsibility of your organization. Like, I saw the interview with the owners, and they're still giving him the option. Either he signs the extension, or we're gonna. No, there's no extension to be signed. I'm not giving you an extension. I'm like, yo, it was fun. You're the greatest player in franchise history. No disrespect to Kareem, but it's just what it is. And we're gonna give you a statue one day. You bring us a title, first title, 50 years. Cool. Let's move on. Get you to Houston. Get you to somewhere. And I just gotta go on a rant of Houston. Kevin Durant. That's all I'm gonna say. Because that culture that they had a year ago and how they play now,
wherever he goes, trouble follows.
Yes,
and you got exposed for them for what you were saying about them in the group chat with some random people that you don't even know, and the team has not looked good since then. I trade KD this offseason, but I wouldn't even want to trade for him if I was anyone else. I mean,
I wouldn't either. Why?
Just you want to talk about a guy in the NBA that I've just never had more dislike for someone than I've had Kevin Durant. And that's saying something because LeBron James still exists and James Harden still exists. But Kevin Durant, I mean, you want to talk about just an example of what a man should not look like? That's Kevin.
Yeah.
It's simple. I'm telling you, LeBron.
And look what he's done to that organization. The culture. They still winning. But first of all, I would be surprised if they move Sengun for Giannis or something.
Yeah. Well, I told you Sengun was going to have to be the one to get moved. I told you that. He's not a center on a championship team. Too slow, can't defend worth it. No. And he can't stretch the floor enough consistently to be a power forward.
No, that's a prime candidate. If I'm Houston, I'm looking in the mirror, but like, all right, we know Amen is a guy.
Hold on. No, we got to talk about Amen Thompson too.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Come on, man. You're too old for your jumper to still be so broke. And then you turn it down to open shot. Like, Sean, nothing.
He's Rajon Rondo. He's Rondo.
Man. No, because he ain't nowhere near the passer and as smart as Rondo was. No. We ain't disrespecting the great Rajon Rondo like that. No. You literally don't have to do anything, Sean, but start shooting some two-handed free throws as a baseline to see where you at. Then you go ahead and you shoot some one-handed. Next thing you know, you keep doing that, you go back to the two-handed free throws, and your free throws better. Once you do that, Sean, I got a real secret for you. If you can shoot free throws, you can shoot anything on the court. You know why? Because all the free throw is doing is working on your form. Mm-hmm. Once your form is down, you're fine. That's why you shoot one-handed free throws. Because you're only supposed to shoot a basketball with one hand. Go shoot with your two. Go give me 500. Two-handed. Then for the next 3 days, I want you to do nothing but shoot 1,000 one-handed.
Get your form right.
So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Come back Friday and start shooting with 2 hands again. You're going to see improvement. Keep doing that. After that, shoot 1,000 threes a day. You will instantly go from a 28% to a 35% shooter from three. Just like that. Just like that. I don't know why in this era of the jumper, it's become acceptable to also not have one as a guard. That makes no sense. So I can't draft a big man unless he can shoot. Well, that's not supposed to be his job. But I can bow down to a guard who can't shoot, and that is supposed to be his job. See how ass backwards the NBA is right now? But then you get mad when we say something about it? Come on, man. So I don't want to hear about that mentality stuff, too. At this point, I'd rather have Fred VanVleet than the man. It makes no sense.
I would say this. In Tyree Eason, the Jabari Smith, the core guys that we thought, oh, man, they got the young core. San Antonio's young guys has surpassed them by leaps and bounds.
Well, their growth has been suppressed by the addition of Kevin Durant.
Yeah. They should have kept Brooks and just kept growing it slowly and then eventually. But, yeah, I think if I'm Houston, I'm selling and I'm going to try to get Giannis and KD for a couple years and see what we could do. And I don't even know if that's great enough. But it doesn't – I agree. I thought Amen was going to be in the conversation for All-Star this year. And defensively, he's not been as good. So he's kind of taken this. The whole team defensively has not been as good. They kind of took on a step back. And, yeah, Kevin Durant's just not a great leader. It comes down to Kevin Durant. And at some point –
leader, teammate, none of it.
Yeah, look what happened in Brooklyn. Look what happened in Phoenix. Look at it here. How he ended the Golden State's run. How it ended in OKC. At some point, you keep jumping relationship, and the only problem is you. You're the problem, Kevin Durant. Yo, I like we're preaching on the show today because we gotta be real. We gotta be real.
Common denominator.
Yeah,
man.
You the problem,
can't see
Kevin
that.
Durant. Yeah, we gotta be real today, and I just had to go on that Houston rant.
I'm glad you put the show. And I remember when I was in college, right, going into my senior year, I was talking to this one girl, and then she started tripping on me because she thought I said something about her that I didn't. It was just a whole bunch of it was a lot. I'm on the Xbox one day, with one of my homeboys. I hear a voice on the other end. I'm like, yo, that voice sounds mad familiar. And I get to listening, and it's Shorty. I said, yo, what you doing? Yo. He's like, bro, just hold on. Takes off the mic and everything. Then he turns the mic back up so I can start hearing the nonsense. And he stole my line. She's like, oh, well, it's 100 guys a week trying to DM me. Boom, 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 boom. He said, all right, so you got 100 guys a week DMing you. It's 52 weeks in a year, 5,200 guys. And you still single. He said, so, is all them the problem or you? You are the common denominator.
You're the common denominator. Yeah.
I said, yo, you stole my line on my joint. But shout out to you. Yeah. Because I don't know what she was doing. I don't know how she got you. Like, it's like, no. She slid up on my Instagram because she started following me because you're my main man. And then she slid up because I posted something about you. And boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh, all right, well, yeah, whatever. But
it's whatever.
Common denominator.
That's it.
Common denominator. Kevin Durant.
Simple as that. Kevin Durant, common denominator. That's it. Simple as that. Simple as that. But back to Giannis, Milwaukee, take control of your organization. Haslam, Eden, take control of your organization. Let Doc go.
Please.
Move on. Doc gotta go. The game has been past Doc.
Every time. Yeah. And I don't even want to see you on TV because I cannot stand how your last couple years have gone as a coach. Just go home. Just
go home, play golf, live in Florida.
Yeah. Go back to Orlando or something.
Yeah, it's time to move on. Easily.
All right. Talk to me, Sean.
All right, so coaching carousel in college basketball. Brian Hodgson left USF to go to Providence, and then your boy Jerry McNamara, your school.
Whoa,
Jerry McNamara back.
Why are you saying my school?
Yeah, the school you.
How many times do we have to go through this? I work for the school. I'm not an alum of the school. I'm not a student of the school. I'm not an employee of the school. None of that.
Good point. All right. Where Javon resides right now, they brought back a legend to be their head coach. What's your thoughts on both of the two moves? I got a couple thoughts, but you first.
Shout out to the schools that did not sell out basketball for football. Because now all of a sudden they are better jobs than those other schools. Villanova's a better job than Maryland now, apparently. Providence is a better job than Syracuse now, apparently. Now, word on the street is Hodgson was never offered that job. I've covered the coaching search. Yeah, you don't believe a damn thing when someone says, they weren't offered a job, or when they say they turned down the job. Because there's always some nonsense to it. I remember Matt Langle, so-called, turned down Temple before he was offered, but in reality, he's like, no, I'll take the job, but I'm just not interviewing for it. So that's not really you turning down a job. And then, Charlton Young had interviewed in that same cycle. Him and Arthur Johnson came to the agreement, hey, we'll tell the press that, I didn't interview. So regardless of what happened, let's say if I didn't get the job, it doesn't look bad that I got turned down. And let's say I did get the job, but I didn't want it. It doesn't make you look bad saying that I turned you down. So coaching searches, you always believe, hell, not even half of what you hear, quarter of what you hear. I don't know. Unless Providence is going to spend money, I'm not a fan of the Hodgson hire. I've been on here for a few weeks talking about this. You coach the team with the highest budget in a bad conference. I don't think going from that to an actual basketball conference where you're middle of the pack in spending is just some great hire. I just don't. So, I don't know. And yeah, we can retire that line of, hey, you want to see how I can recruit and take a look at my wife. Some of y'all wives don't even be bad. So we can that's a 3-star recruit. So if that's what your standard is going to be at the program, whatever. So we can retire that corny line in these press conferences. So not big on that. With Jerry, you're staying in the family again.
She's pretty though. I just looked her up. She was pretty.
Listen, Sean.
I just looked her up. Okay. I just looked her up. I just wanted to see, because I heard that line. I thought it was funny. But keep going.
And so you're staying in the Boeheim family. Boeheim's still on campus, always around. Can say whatever he wants about your administration, and still be front row in the press conference when you introduce your new athletic director. And still works for the school in some capacity. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it was great watching Sienna against Duke, right? Great first half. Didn't really have any depth. He was able to get a 4-star to commit to him for the 26th cycle, I want to say. So I expect that dude to follow him to Syracuse. I think he'll actually recruit some guys who can shoot the basketball, unlike Red Autry. Let's talk about this. The black head coach is becoming an endangered species in college basketball, and I'll be honest with you, Sean. That's one of the ones I'm not bad. Because for some reason, they just don't recruit shooters. They just don't.
They recruit athletes, a lot of athletes.
And that's not how it goes, man.
Yeah.
We make it hard to defend ourselves in college basketball. I'll tell you that. And then you do get somebody who can. You don't run an offense, or you get somebody that's a personality problem. I don't know, man. We're about to get phased out of college basketball. But maybe not, no, because the young crop are changing it. I'm sorry, because Chris Crutchfield, our boy, does great at Omaha. Tevin Sadler does great at Nichols. Kenny Blakely does good at Howard. So I think the old guard is washing out more than anything.
Some new young blood.
It's going to be the new ones, yeah. But Jerry, I mean, I don't know who else Syracuse is going to get. So cool. But again, it's also going to be are I'm going to spend money.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Because when I texted,
like Mello, who is that group of investors you had that was ready to pony up the money to buy out Autry and go get Mike Hopkins? Who are they? Because they need to be able to supply that money to Jerry for the NIL. Is the Lally family going to stick to just donating to football, or are they going to kick in on basketball too? And are the guys that actually football NIL, Dave Pollock and Kobe Clark and Joe Burton, are they going to start kicking in some money to basketball? Who's going to give money? Because, again, you're in a league with spenders in Duke, Carolina, and Louisville. So where is your money at? Because you should be fourth in that list. Look at the ACC. You look at the basketball heritage. Is it not supposed to be those three in Syracuse at the top 4?
Yeah. Easily.
So, that doesn't happen without you spending money. So that's my thought on those first two. I love Randy Bennett at Arizona State. I think St. Mary's is promoting one of their assistants. Gonzaga's leaving for the Pac-12 now. So, Santa Clara and San Fran, this is your chance in that conference. Gonzaga's gone. St. Mary's undergoing a change. This is your chance over there. But I love that hire for Arizona State. Gerard Calhoun, congrats for going back to Cincinnati. But I mean, I'll be honest with you. That loaded Big 12 or staying at Utah State for the new Pac-12, I don't think he'd have took the Cincy job if he wasn't an alum, to be honest with you. I think Utah State will have an easier time being good without him than Cincy will being good with him. Wow. I will say, give Wes Miller his credit. The way he coached for his job for the last 2 months of the season. Much respect to Wes. And then Charlotte is a great spot for Wes to end up. He's already worked in that conference from when Cincy was in the American. He's already worked in the UNC system from when he was at Greensboro. I think Charlotte's a great landing spot for Wes Miller. I'm not happy about it because we have to deal with them. And we can't get anyone to spend money our damn selves. Coach Fish, hang in there. I already texted you after the season. You know I love you, but I'll show you some more love. Hang in there, buddy. That's Wes Miller to Charlotte. That's a great hire. That's the top 5 hire of this cycle for me.
Yeah, I know you were raving about that. I like all the hires. I don't have much to add. The only thing I do agree with this is Hutchinson leaving USF to go to Providence. I don't know. I don't know. That's too TBD to me because USF. I don't see Providence as such a bigger upgrade than USF. I could be wrong.
Oh no, it is. It is.
You think so?
Yes. That's where the concern comes in from, making that leap from South Florida to Providence. We're talking about the American and the Big East.
But the Big we talk about I think of the Big East, I think in a whole different terms of the Big East, not this Big East. But I see what you're saying in that aspect, the level of competition. But I'm talking about recruiting dollars, be able to get better players.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You had the highest budget at South Florida in your conference. That's not the case at all at Providence. That's my thing. So I don't think it's going to work out because he's not at the advantage. And again, he had the highest budget in a bad conference. They're going to an actual good conference now, and you're not going to be the big bully of spending. I just don't see it. I thought that was the one guy for everyone to stay away from this cycle.
So the other thing too is, for example, I know the names in the conferences, blah, blah, blah. But at this moment, would you rather stay at USF or go to like a Georgetown?
I'll always leave South Florida for a basketball school. Okay. I will always leave South Florida for Providence or Georgetown. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then shout out to him. I just think someone has to go there and build them up. So and Cooley did it for a little bit. I still don't understand why he left Providence for Georgetown, but whatever.
I don't like leaving for schools in your conference. I'm just not a fan of it. If you built your program up to surpass that school, that's why they're coming to get you, because you surpassed them. Stay where you're at and just bury them.
Exactly. That nostalgia stuff doesn't work. But yeah, shout out to all these coaches. I like all the moves. I do like Bennett going to, and I do, like you said, in Syracuse, it's all about does this hire make Melo and those guys spend money? Simple and plain.
All right, Sean, how's your bracket looking?
It was good. I didn't have a lot of upsets. Remember we talked about last week? I didn't have a lot of upsets. I would say this. I'm pulling on my bracket right now. The biggest problem is this. I just gotta say it. We talked about it. It was 1 year. Might look like the Cinderella story is
2 years.
2 years in a row, man. Hey, come on, Javon. 2 years in a row. And it hasn't been like.
Hold on. Don't we have an 11 seed in the Sweet 16?
Are you talking Texas with that budget?
Don't we have an 11 seed in the Sweet 16?
Come on, man. No, let's not do that.
Didn't we have another 11 seed beat a Blue Blood?
Yes.
Didn't we have a 12 seed win?
High Point, yep.
So what we talking about? I feel like we're just looking for something to complain about. Me personally. Santa Clara was a referee missing a timeout away from going. So that was another 10 seed that should have been in the round of 32. What are we talking about, man?
The problem is Texas is not real 11. Even Mark Few said it. Even their head coach said it. They have the money. They have the money to spend. They just underperformed this year. So that's one. Two. Hey, listen. I'm not saying it's over. Like, but 2 years in a row, we don't have a quote unquote Cinderella team in the Sweet 16. That's what makes the tournament. I like to see the best teams play. That's just me. That's how I wish baseball was like that.
Do you like basketball or not?
I love basketball.
Have we not had good games?
Great games.
What we can
great tournaments so far. I get it, but what was the purpose of the tournament? If you're going to lose the essence of the tournament if there's no balance, because we're taking all the mid-major best players and bringing them there because we can pay them now. So that's my only thing is. Hey,
NIL is the problem. The portal was
the portal. Oh, excuse me.
We need people to stop conflating the two because they're two separate entities.
Okay.
The portal is the issue, which is why I can't believe I'm saying this on this podcast. I am in support of Tommy Tuberville. 5 years to do 5, 1 free transfer. After that, you got to sit a year.
100%.
Simple and plain. Because now I'm not going to transfer from Central Connecticut to Vermont, and then from Vermont to Rhode Island, and then from Rhode Island to Syracuse, right? And I'm at 4 spots in 4 different years. Like, no, now I'm going to really take my time, think about which school I'm going to go to, and I'll probably end up at Towson for my first 2 years, and then really have a conversation about my 3rd year. And I'm only going to wind up at 2 schools in my career. And that's fine. When that's what the portal was for, it was fine. Hey, spend your first 2-3 years at some smaller school, get them to the Sweet 16, like a John L. Davis at Florida Atlantic.
Yes.
And then you cash in and go to Arkansas, right? You got to get that back to the portal. Once you get back to only 1 free transfer, you'll be fine. It's when we started doing all these unlimited transfers that things got out of hand. And that's just for every asset of college sports. Every facet of college sports.
And if we do that, I think, again, it's only 2 years. But the beauty of the tournament to me was we could see, or at least the second weekend, we had more Cinderellas. It's 2 years in a row. And
it's
again,
not like they got dominated. Though, like High Point was in it all the way with Arkansas.
Absolutely. They could have won the game.
Like we're talking about Florida has not been to the Sweet 16 since '99. Iowa, my fault, and knocked off Florida. Like, okay, maybe the Super Cinderellas just ain't going to be low major schools. All right, fine. You're still getting some upsets. What's wrong with that?
But that's disrespectful to put Texas in that conversation. That's a Cinderella.
What was their record this year, Sean?
I don't know off the top of my head, but they
went 18-14. They were the last team in.
How much money did they spend?
That's on them. That ain't my concern. You went 18-14. You are what your record says you are.
No. In sports, when the Yankees spend all the money and they miss the playoffs and then 3rd in payroll, the Mets are 4th in payroll, those expectations are not the same as
You're right.
High Point.
And that's why 18-14 was a problem for Texas. But you make up for it by making it to the Sweet 16.
But that doesn't make you a Cinderella. You underachieve.
I guess.
That make you a Cinderella. And when the Mets made the loss, if the Mets are not consistently winning the NL East, I don't hit no Cinderella team. You got the 2nd best payroll, and you have the owner with the most money in baseball who's willing to spend. You ain't no Cinderella team. You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I mean, all right, but my bracket, real quick. I would say this: I did not have Iowa, so I had Florida losing Illinois, and so that kind of messed me up. So far in the Duke Michigan State one, my bracket's good right there. Arizona versus Arkansas. What did I have? Do I have Arkansas? Yeah, I had Arkansas there. I didn't have Texas, so that messed up my thing. And then the Michigan, Iowa State, Tennessee. I didn't have Tennessee, so that's the only thing that's. So I'm kind of still sort of. I don't know if we want to break down who's gonna get who's left. I would say it's gonna be Illinois versus Nebraska. Illinois gets the Final Four. Michigan State, UConn versus I'm scared of St. John's if I'm Duke. I'm so mad I have to play St. John's. I'm gonna pick Duke. Duke still goes. Arizona still goes. Iowa State looks good, man. I'll stick with Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not happy about the East region. Stay with some
That's
great
tough.
games in Philly this weekend, well, last weekend, and then there are going to be great games in DC this upcoming weekend. And I'm up and shit. Well, Sean, if I were home, I'd have been at both. My credit card would have got. Hey, I'm spending all day Thursday through Sunday at Wells
Tomorrow,
Fargo, and I'd spent all Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, whichever, at Capital One. I wouldn't have cared, and I'd have been in heaven. That this year's East region is probably the best region I've seen in all my time watching college basketball.
well,
Loaded. I mean, and speaking of region, Sean, you see Syracuse's women's coach complaining about always being sent to UConn.
yes, I saw that.
Improve your team, win the game. Are you not in the East?
That's what I'm saying. You're in the East, and
Which one to get sent to the Midwest every now and then?
Is that an hour and some flight? Maybe.
Now that was a baseless complaint. Coach Jack's cool peoples, but I can respectfully disagree. No, just no. Win a game. Show up. Don't get smoked by 50.
You're not in that you don't have that cachet to bring that conversation up. You know what I'm saying? You haven't done enough.
Or go be a high seed where you get sent out of your region because they grant home court advantage to the higher seed, whatever.
Exactly.
14 of my Sweet 16. And the problem is the two that have been knocked out so far, I had going to the Elite Eight. So I can only get 6 of my Elite Eight. That's going to be down from 7 last year. I'm a little mad about that. But I'm not making any changes in my predictions. Duke, Illinois, Arizona, and Iowa State to be my Final Four. And Duke to beat Arizona in my national championship. I'm not making any changes, man. But I want to say real shout out to Ben McCollum. Wherever he goes, he wins. Great job at Iowa. That whole triangle or circle, whatever you want to call it, worked out. Because he goes to Iowa and they do something they haven't done in decades. Fran McCaffrey leaves to go home to Penn. And they upset Yale, the Ivy League power, to win the Ivy League. And he's only at Penn because they got rid of Donahue, who went to St. Joe's to be Billy Lang's assistant. But then Billy Lang leaves at the 11th hour to go be an assistant with the Knicks. And Donahue steps in there after some lackluster years at Penn during his last couple years of that tenure. And St. Joe's becomes a damn good team in the A-10, gets to the NIT quarterfinal. So shout out to all those guys. And that
it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out for everybody.
I'm going to say this, though. If St. John's beats Duke, they're going to the Final Four.
I don't think that's a bold prediction. I think that's just that's what that game is.
Yeah, whoever wins that goes to the final. It's the Seattle Rams prediction this year. That was going to win the Super Bowl. Whoever wins that going to the Final Four.
Duke and St. John's and then Michigan State and UConn. Boy, Friday night's going to be fun. Oh,
actually, I'm going to switch that up. Whoever wins that conference is going to the
national championship. Is winning the national championship. That's what I'm saying. That is the best region that I have seen.
You said that. Arizona is still my team to win us. I picked them at the.
Hey, man. You can stick with it. Whoever wins the East wins the national championship. Simple and plain. And that's not to say the Midwest isn't shaping up to be good. And, because shout out to Tennessee. Did not see them getting this far whatsoever.
I know. My boy, Nate, those boys.
Yeah. So, no disrespect to Tennessee. Congratulations to them or whatever. And shout out to Alabama because I had them getting upset earlier. Congrats to Texas. But yeah, man. Whoever wins that East is winning it.
Yeah, the East is crazy. I can't wait for this weekend's games. So that's tomorrow, right? Thursday.
Yeah.
Sweet
Oh, so I'm
16.
wrong. I only had 12 with the Sweet 16. Oof. Oh no, that's not good. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I ain't a fan of that. Ah,
Jeez.
that's one worse than last year. I don't like that. All right. Yeah, let's move on before I get mad. Moses Moody tore his patella tendon Monday night. Watched it happen live. Injury bug kicked the Warriors' ass this season.
It's time. It's time. It's time. If I'm Joe Lacob, what are we gonna do? Bring Steph back next year, Porzingis back, Butler back, like maybe sign LeBron to like be an old team. We just got, even with that, you're still not beating OKC or San Antonio in the West. In Denver if healthy. So it's time to break up the team. Do what Danny Ainge did. He set the Boston Celtics up for a 2-3 year gap, and then they're able to set up themselves for another 10, 15-year run. Do it. Let Steph still has a lot of trade value. I think him going to Charlotte would make a lot of sense or whatever, but we can go to teams when that comes. But if I'm going to say, we have 4 first-round picks. We can add to that stable. Maybe we get lucky because we're not going to make the playoffs, even though we're in the play-in, and we move up like Dallas did last year and get into the top 4, top 1 pick. The NBA always owes us that for the last 10 years of dominance for our team. So I think, yeah, I'm moving on, breaking up the team. Simple as that.
All this was supposed to be avoided years ago. Which we're talking about. When you let play ball, when you're supposed to go ahead and trade Draymond. Well, no, you're supposed to let Draymond walk, trade play, rebuild around staff, Kuminga, Poole, Wiseman. But you got a head coach that don't believe in developing young players. So here you go. But he lost Brandon Podziemski. Makes no sense. But yeah, staff won't come back until the play-in. I'm sick of Jimmy. Now Moody's hurt. That game Monday did not have to go to overtime, by the way. Draymond passed up so many open shots down the stretch. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how he calls himself a smart basketball player. Whatever. I'm talking way upset there. It's just not looking good.
No,
they're not going to win their playing game.
Yeah. No.
I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, Steph, where you want to go?
Yeah, it's time. You can get some assets for these guys, or some of them, and I just think it's time. And Steve Kerr's.
But what's going to happen is they're going to hold on until Jimmy's contract expires. So I don't know who's trading for Jimmy in that deal. I think the Warriors are the only ones desperate enough to do it. So they're probably going to hold on until Jimmy expires. I mean, yeah. Listen, the window's closed. We know it.
Oh, it's slam shut.
But
that's what I'm saying. Like, so you just
they're going to try to time LeBron and see if you can go ahead and squeeze one little bit of, when you get to that, use the juicer. You just trying to get everything you can out of the orange or the lemon.
Yeah,
that's just where they at.
So LeBron he's not getting $50 million. I could see him playing with Steph next year and Draymond and Jimmy and making it a spectacle. But they ain't gonna do anything. I don't know. That team is the definition from a middle class team in the NBA. This doesn't make sense.
Sean, the 65 game rule. NBA PA, you're saying to either get rid of it or grant some exceptions for, significant injuries like what Cade Cunningham's got going on. Your thoughts on the 65 game?
The NBA PA agreed to this. Like, I read it last night before I went to bed. You guys agreed to this move, so shut up. And it was CJ McCollum, who's no longer part of the NBA PA, like, who I think I don't even like watching him play anymore because I'm like, this guy ruined the freaking league. Like, some people like this, whatever. We'll see how it plays out till the CBA runs out. But you agreed to this rule, and you guys can't blame anyone but yourselves because your players were low managing. They wasn't taking games off. I do think you should it should be up to the commissioner discretion. Cade should not be penalized because he's been playing, he's been healthy, he's been active. It was a freak injury that he got hit by, I think, Bob Carrington on the Wizards. He shouldn't be penalized. Jokic shouldn't have been penalized if he misses, or should not be, because someone rolled into his knee or something like that in Miami. That's different. Wemby, same thing. Who else is on the bub? But guys like if you purposely miss a game or long term, like Steph should not be in the conversation. LeBron missed the first 3 weeks of the season, like those type of things. But if it's something on the court and it's not something, it's something we can visually see, and it has to be, every move should be a case by case situation. And I think that's what it should be. It should just be a case by case situation. But I don't feel bad for the NBPA or the players because they signed this horrible CBA and they signed these rules in place. So you eat what you sow. That's the theme of the show. The show should be called "You Eat What You Sow."
Not mad at that. Real quick, Ronald Norwood, former Butler player and assistant of the Hawks, is going home to replace Thad Matta. Thad Matta, who's retiring. Saw Greg McDermott's retiring at Creighton, and the coaching waiting is taking over there.
I hate those things, but
yeah, we'll see how both these moves work out. What's homeboy at BYU? Kevin Young kind of turned me off to the NBA assistants this year. But the 65-game rule, you got Steve Kerr asking for a shorter season and all that. Get rid of our 10 games. No, I did the math. We can go down to a 76-game season, and I'll be okay.
Why?
Because the scheduling formula right now makes no sense. You have it to where you play 30 interconference games, right? You play 16 in your division. And then the other 10 teams in your conference, you play all of them 3 times. But then some of them, like on a rotating basis, you play 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of makes no sense to me. Just go, you play everybody in your division 4 times, everyone else in your conference 3 times, and everyone in the other conference twice. That's 76 games. We can go down to 76, and I'll be fine. And that'll get rid of some more of these back-to-backs. That'll be fine. So let's do that. Let's shrink the floor, please. The floor does not need to be that wide. You can't defend, and y'all are complaining about the soft tissue issues. And y'all got to choose. Either we get rid of all this extra space, or you get your butt out there and play. You choose. So shrink the floor. If the floor's 94 feet long, then the court shouldn't be any longer than 47 feet. Any wider than 47 feet. Shrink the court to 47 feet wide. Go down to 76 games. 3-point line, I don't care how you engineer it, 23.5 feet at the top of the key and 23.5 feet in the corners. Do whatever you got to do to engineer that. And keep the 65-game rule after that. 65-game rule on a 76-game schedule means you never play a back-to-back. I don't want to hear it after that.
I don't like that because, again, I'm going to say I don't like.
I'm only shrinking about 6 games. We can have that compromise, Sean. 6 games. Sean, it's 6 games. Sean, come on. That's 6 games you're not going to miss watching the regular season. Are you?
No, but I just think you compromise for the players back-to-backs. All Michael Jordan and them played 82 games.
I already know. Sean, I know. But hey,
yeah,
I mean, we had already gone too far for these softies. What the hell? Give them the 6 games, whatever. I'm not cutting off. I'm not chopping 10 games off the schedule. I'll chop 6.
Okay, all right. So 76 games.
But then if you bring 2 expansion teams, though, which I'm not a fan of right now, because I think the talent is there, sure, but these scouts know how to evaluate the talent. So they're going to fill the teams with the wrong guys anyway. And you got all the tanking and stuff anyway. I don't know if I'm a fan of 2 more teams. I think relocating 2 teams would have made more sense than adding 2 more. So now when you add 2 more, you got to redo the schedule again to where, I don't know. You know what? You expand. You got to keep that 82. Yeah, keep the 65-game rule, all that. You want to boost it up to 70. You can't boost it up to 70. They're already saying 65 is too much. I'm not going down to 60 where you play 60 games and you miss 22.
Then you should have just kept it. It should just be
I don't know. Just guys don't want to play. I don't know, man.
It should be by exception.
And get exceptions. Yeah, you got exceptions.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's guys that don't want to play. We're supposed to be the most technology advanced era and the most knowledgeable of sports science, but all these guys are actually idiots anyway. I don't know how there's more injuries now than you had back then. Oh, soft tissue. Stretch, and run every day. Practice every day, actually, and build up the man. Listen, I ain't gonna get it.
No, it's crazy.
You're supposed to build your body for this breakdown.
But no, what's crazy? The NBA complains about pace of play. And because we do stats. The Celtics
pace don't translate to winning.
No,
the Wizards been at a pace of 100 for the past 10 years. They get 100 possessions. They get 100 daggone possessions a game, or per 48 minutes for the past 10 years, and they still don't win. I see teams that's so high in pace and still don't win. It don't make sense to me. Luka Doncic don't play fast. Shea don't play fast. Jokic don't play fast. And last time I checked, those are supposed to be the 3 best players in the league. So let's pace stuff. You're doing it to yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, Boston, they ranked 30th in pace in Boston, and they ranked 30th in pace last year too, or 29th. And they're again a top 5 team in the East, the top 5 team in the league. And pace doesn't equate because the pace off the top of my head, Miami, I think Atlanta's in top 5, Chicago's in the top 5, Chicago. Who cares a F about pace? Like, just play at a slow pace. Stop complaining. You don't have to follow the league. I hate that whole pace of play. I do think the NBA should keep it where it is, make exceptions. I saw K get hurt. It was not a fault of his own. It was an accident. I saw Jokic get hurt. Yeah. That's not a soft-ish tissue issue. Jokic, the knee again went. Come on. Those rules are an exception. But everybody else this year, I can't really. Even Wemby, he missed a lot of games at the beginning of the year. That's just injuries. I can't do anything for you. That's it.
I don't know. The Lakers winning streak snapped. They had a 9-game streak. They had finally beaten some winning teams, and then they lose it in Detroit to the Cade Cunningham-less Pistons. What did you think about the Lakers during this 10-game stretch?
Impressive. The guys were playing defense. LeBron was impressive because he finally was like, all right, it's Luka and Austin Reeves' team. I'm starting to think like, hey, you get a couple better wings around those 2 guys in a center. Reeves has taken a step. I gotta give him credit. It's hard for me to say that, but it's hard. I have to give him credit. And then Luka the last 10 games. If that's the Luka you get for 82,
well, that's power support Luka. That ain't gonna last for 82 games.
It won't. But he was the best player in these last 10 games. It wasn't even close. He was the best player in the NBA. Him and Wemby. Those last 10 games, he was playing some level of defense. I hate when people say it's like, oh, whatever. But I'm so over that conversation with him and defense. But the last 10 games, that 40-point, he's getting to any spot he wants. You can't stop him. He's playing with energy. The ball was moving around. Like, it wasn't just sticking. I was impressed. I can't lie. I was very impressed with what they've done in this streak. Again, clearly, never thought I would say that they'll beat Houston. I didn't even think they have a chance to beat Minnesota.
Come on. All right. Come on. Let me draw the line. We already know Minnesota, every playoffs, they just come to life and just terrorize these guys. If you got an old dude on your team, they're going to beat you. Come on. We're talking about 10 games. We already know Austin Reeves is still going to be a cone in the playoffs. We know Luka's going to end up as a cone at some point. We already know DeAndre Ayton soft ass is going to get ate up. Pause. Come on, man. Come on.
Pause.
LeBron's old and scoring 0 points in the first half these days. We can stop. Congratulations on the little stretch. Found something. Boom, boom, boom. It's for next year, though. Now, replace Ayton. You got to keep a guy like a Marcus Smart who can get the ball out of Luka and Reeves' hands and play defense. But then again, I'm not bringing Reeves back. I'm not paying him that money. Same thing. I see Zay Flowers wants JSN's contract. Are you on dope? Are you on dope or dog food, man? You ain't JSN. So the Ravens, you need to go ahead and trade him too. I'm so sick of the nonsense and the people who ain't realistic about themselves, man. You gotta stop. Listen, Lakers, congratulations. Woohoo. You're still not getting to the conference finals. What are we saying here, man? Why you don't all right, come on. Don't sit there.
Wait. So Zay. Wait, I just that went over my head, but I was listening to Zay Flowers wants JSN money.
Yes. Dope or dog? Which one?
He wants JSN money.
JSN money.
I'm not even gonna dignify that with an answer. Like that boy better help to get $28 million. He ain't getting, I wouldn't even give him 30. Like yo, only Puka, and Puka's, he better come to the table. I want 45. I'll give him 45, especially when I'm paying our quarterback. He's not on a long-term deal. But Zay Flowers, I don't even consider Zay Flowers in the top 5 receivers in the AFC. And that's just me saying off the top of my head. It's the 5 receivers.
Name them.
Let me pull up the team. We do this all the time. Let's
pull up the teams. Yeah, pull up the teams.
Yeah. Hold on. ESPN, NFL.
I got you right here. New England, who's better than him?
No one.
Buffalo. Are you saying DJ Moore?
I would take DJ Moore over him.
All right. Nobody in Miami. Are you going Garrett Wilson?
I'm taking Garrett Wilson over.
All right. Pittman and Metcalf.
I'm taking Pittman.
Mm-hmm. And Metcalf?
And Metcalf.
All right. Chase and Higgins.
That's not even a conversation.
Both? Damn. All right. That's 6. Well, yeah, you got it right there. Brian Thomas?
Nah. Not after what I saw last year.
Nico Collins?
I'm definitely taking Nico over him.
Tank Down?
I'll take Zay.
Alec Pierce?
Zay.
Jalen Waddle?
I'll take Zay.
Cortland Sutton?
That's a tie to me.
Ladd McConkey?
I'll take Zay.
Tyreek Hill?
Right, this current moment, Zay.
All right, so you finished with 7 or 8 ahead of Zay Flowers in the AFC.
Do you disagree, or do you think
production-wise, T. Higgins can't stay on the field, so I'd have to take him out.
Damn.
Michael Pittman, the last 2 years, no. I wish Garrett Wilson had a quarterback to get him the ball. And Zay's been more productive than DJ Moore in the last few years. So I'm taking at least 3 or 4 off your list.
So you're telling me if you had a chance and you were GM in your expansion team, you're going to take Zay over T. Higgins, DJ Moore, and I forgot the last guy you said.
I'm taking over. Yeah, I'm taking them over those 2. Yeah. Garrett Wilson is one I'd have to have a conversation about.
Oh, Garrett's better than him. He just hasn't had a quarterback. Like he's a prison. Like I don't see that. But nah, T. Higgins, Zay Flowers on his best day ain't better than T. Higgins on his best day.
Yeah, but you got to be able to play for me too, man.
I get that, but he's not a better quarterback receiver than him. That's a blanket. Joe Burrow don't play, but Justin Herbert's not a better quarterback than Joe Burrow.
I hear you. I ain't mad at it. But I've drafted Herbert before Burrow.
Woo!
Yeah, because Joe not going to play.
But when he plays, he was the MVP 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he won't play. That's the issue.
I can't even defend Joe. That's my guy, but I can't even defend Joe on that.
Hey, man. But yeah, with the Lakers, come on. You still ain't making the conference finals, but you're getting a sense of what you need for next season. Will Pelinka get that? I doubt it. So who knows? Who cares? Cam Thomas released from the Bucks, traded because he went and signed 2 very solid extension offers from the Nets. Ineligible for the postseason because he's cut after March 1st. I think his career's finished. I mean, you don't do nothing but jack bad shots at 6'2", 6'3". Don't really play defense. Don't pass the ball. Not really efficient. I mean, I've never been a Cam Thomas guy. I remember watching him in high school when he was at Oak Hill. They came to Baltimore to play Poly. Yeah, that was Bryce Lindsey and KJ Evans. And my boy Jalen was like, yeah, that's the 4-star that's on the LSU. Pardon my French. I said, you bullshitting me. No way. No. I mean, Cam looked so bad that day. And then they had my boy, what's his name? Emmanuel Como, who I wound up at Temple with. Yeah, no, I ain't been a Cam Thomas fan since high school. I'm being honest with you. I always knew this day would come. So yeah, I think he's finished. I really do. He probably gets like 1 or 2 more contracts, doesn't play, and he's gone.
In the NBA?
Yeah, he's about to be on the Killian Hayes track and the Markelle Fultz track of a bunch of 10 days and stuff like that. Yeah.
If I'm him, it's hard for me to tell someone young to give up on their dreams, but I would, in back of my mind, he probably could make $3 to $5 million overseas.
He can go overseas and do his thing. I can tell you that. Yeah.
Play for another 10 years, make $5 million. Some of it's tax free. I would start be thinking outside of the NBA because his style of play. If you can't work, and Doc was like, "Oh, I work with Jamal Crawford. I work with Lou Williams.
Yeah, I'm the 6-man whisperer."
Yeah, and he couldn't. And you get cut before the season, and there's no chance of you being on a postseason roster. Something, and Doc wouldn't comment on what happened. Yeah, Cam, I think it's time for you to just look in the mirror and realities can't lie to the person in the mirror and be like, all right, but he can make a lot of money. He'll probably score. I won't be surprised if we see him on the news in 5-10 years and he scored like 100 points in a game or something like that. he's that type of jacker. You know what I mean? Like he's just one of those guys that I could see him overseas scoring like 80 points or something.
Yeah.
He's just not a winning NBA player. But if I was him, go make your money. You'll be a multimillionaire overseas playing basketball. It's just the league's not for you. He's just not a good NBA player. That's it.
All right, now Carson Wentz has joined the fray in Minnesota to go with Kyler Murray and JJ McCarthy. I don't know, Sean. I'll just let you take the lead on this.
So I would say this. I think the Vikings KOC was very scarred what happened with Sam Darnold because he went from a team that was 14 wins to a team they had 8 wins last year on a team that was talented. They're going to stack that. Listen, you're going to stack that quarterback room. And Wentz was not bad when he took over last year. So I think he got hurt. You stack that quarterback room and you just got to figure it out because there's talent there to contend. And so I believe in KOC a lot. I'm not mad about this. I don't know what this says to JJ. If they're a competitor, it wakes you up. But I think you stack that room to as much as you can to see who's your guy. And I think Murray's in pole position to be the guy.
Yeah, it's just not JJ. That's all I can say. It just ain't JJ. I'll leave it at that. It just ain't JJ.
Yeah, it doesn't look good for Jay. Well, and again, he was not good. He played 7-8 games in his rookie, quote unquote rookie year. But that roster's built to win. And that's it. Simple as that. I'm not mad. It's a production-based business. And that team, that organization, that ownership group was like, hey, we won 14 games the year before. And the guy we let go won a Super Bowl. He could have done it here with I don't want to say better offense weapons, but it just didn't get done. So, yes, that room, that quarterback, that organization, it's not a bad place to stay.
All right, you got anything else for him?
Not really. I think I wanted to say about the PA. Everybody be safe out here. I'm going to be at the airport tomorrow at 4:30 for a 9:30 flight.
Yeah,
out of Atlanta.
Yeah,
it's serious out here, and then we got
this
ice
needs to clear
ages
up by
running.
July. This needs to clear up by July. When I have to fly to Charlotte, and then the season's right around the corner. Yeah, this needs to be cleared up by July.
Yeah, I'm not too happy about that, but I dropped my boy off. He came to visit me this past weekend. His flight was at 6 a.m. I had to drop him off at 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, no.
He was outside. No, and the line was outside when I dropped him off. Outside the airport. You've been in Atlanta airport. Outside, Jamar. I'm not making this up. So, I'll be in the airport for 5 hours. Hopefully I can get through after an hour and a half, chill at the lounge to catch my flight. It's going to be a busy day tomorrow. It's bad out here. And then the Air Canada flight, it's scary. God protect me on these flights. It's been a scary season since number 47 got into office with the TSA people. Aviation.
Black folks so much, man. I don't know. No. Yeah. Get me off here before I get to talking politics. See y'all later.